Hello, hello, hello. It's Lily Enrique here, parenting strategist from the Parent Support Network. And today we are joined on episode number 38 of Parent Support Network TV with a lovely friend of mine, Laura Hurrell. So Laura, I initially met, I think, you might have to remind me how it happened, Laura, but I think Laura contacted me initially about my work with Nurtured Heart Approach and decided to join us on a course late last year. I think you did the last course of 2021.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. November it started. Yeah.
That's it. So I got to know Laura and her lovely family through her participating in the course. Laura then invited me along to one of her live sessions with her mums that she works with, and I talked a little bit about my work with them and just got to hang out with some beautiful mums and gorgeous babies, which was really enjoyable. And I've been following Laura and the beautiful work that she does with Calmbirth. So let me just read out a little bit of an official thing on Laura as to what she does. So Laura is a registered nurse and midwife whose passion is helping women and their partner prepare for labour and birth. She teaches Calmbirth antenatal education classes in Bundall, which is on the Gold Coast in Queensland, and is also a pregnancy and postnatal yoga teacher. So that's interesting. So right from pregnancy through to pre-labour, through to birth, and then post-natal as well. She's a mother to 3 gorgeous boys, and this experience of mothering has led her on a huge journey of self-discovery and mindfulness, doesn't it, for all of us, right?
Yes.
It gently influences the way she works with couples before they birth their babies, as well as supporting them in their transition into parenthood in the early weeks after birth. So, Laura, I love this work that you're doing because, you know, I didn't have anybody, I didn't work with anybody. And I don't even think back in those days that I knew, that was available. But I think it's a beautiful thing that you do to help families through that, that transition of, the excitement of being pregnant and wanting their pregnancy to be as healthy as possible. And of course, wanting to have a beautiful, birth, a beautiful, heart-centered and successful birth, and then having that support as well post-birth, with support there, and with yoga is awesome because us mums need to get our bodies back into shape too. But I know yoga is a lot more than, the physical. It's also a lot about the emotional. So you started out as a nurse and a midwife, and now you've got your own business and you're helping families to navigate their way through this amazing, beautiful process. Do you work mainly with new mums, so it's their first experience, or is it a mixture of everybody? So tell us a little bit more about what you do.
So it is a mixture of everybody. Primarily what I do is I just support women and their partners with whatever they need for themselves, because everyone is different. Every family, every situation is different. And we all come to this with different life experiences as well. So, that's what I love about Calmbirth, and also the yoga as well. So women who come along and do prenatal yoga with me, I get to follow them on that journey of pregnancy and helping them prepare their bodies for labour and birth. And the Calmbirth part of it is really just, so Calmbirth is an Australian childbirth education program.
Okay.
It was developed in 2004 by an Australian midwife, Peter Jackson. He's still involved with the course, but his daughter, Karen McClay, has sort of taken over. She's the director of Calmbirth, and she's continually updating it with research and evidence about the mind-body connection.
Oh, wow.
Because we know that how a woman's feeling greatly affects how her labour is going to progress. And this is what I love about the NHA as well, the Nurtured Heart approach, because they're very much in alignment about, you know, how your mindset and how you're feeling about things dictates how you're going to respond to a situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
Mindset's
yeah.
very important, isn't it? So
Yeah.
would it be safe to say that many of the families you work with want a more kind of natural
Yeah.
birth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do work a lot with first time mums. So obviously when you find out you're pregnant and everything, you know, you hear about things you've never heard of before. We're living in this age of information overload with, you know, the internet and everything. And how do you know if what you're looking up on Google is correct information? So coming to a Calmbirth course is a great way to know that you're getting unbiased, up-to-date, evidence-based education and knowledge that you're able to then make your choices on, because obviously we make our decisions based on the knowledge of what we believe to be true, don't we? So if we're going to be making decisions based on something we've heard from someone else's experience or
and often they're the scary stories and experiences. I know, Laura, that I would have, you know, loved this support with ours, particularly with my second pregnancy. I feel like I would have needed it more. And, you know, for those of you who know my story, know that my story started with my pregnancy and what happened to me in pregnancy. And my husband and I opted for a very natural birth. I had actually learned I was going to use TENS for pain relief, and we went to a course to learn how to use TENS to, you know, which is a natural way of pain relief. And I had all the dots on my back ready to go where we were to place the pads, etc. And we knew what to do, and we'd hired the machine and all this sort of thing. So we had these huge high expectations of having a certain birth. And then little did I know that our young man was going to give us a very different experience. And we ended up having a very stressful birth. So he went into stress. He, what did they call it? Meconian, like he pooed. And so they had him on a stress monitor. So he was stressed. I was stressed. Our TENS machine thing just went out the window because things started happening so fast that basically I went into, you know, the labour just went so quickly. And then I ended up having a few puffs of gas, which I didn't want to have just because I wasn't dealing with the pain. And it was not the birth that I wanted. So it would have been lovely to have somebody like you to, even after the birth, to support and say, hey, look, sometimes our plans don't go accordingly. You know, we might plan, you know, this certain idyllic kind of, you know, birth, but it doesn't always happen that way. But I guess had I, you know, I'd already had one child, but had I, you know, had some sort of awareness and education around, you know, that things can happen and, you know, and how to deal with that, it would have been awesome. So I think, you know, particularly if you are a first-time mum and dad, but I think any pregnancy really, because they can all be quite different, can't they?
Definitely, yeah. And that's the other group of women that I also work with is women who have had a first or one or two births, and then they do want to find a little bit more knowledge to make some different decisions and create the experience that they want in subsequent labours and births. So I love Calmbirth because by the couples come at the beginning of the weekend not feeling very prepared or confident, and by the end of the weekend they're feeling so excited and actually looking forward to being in labour and looking forward to giving birth. And the partners as well, they just have this real confidence about them that they know that they'll be able to support their partner during birth.
And so it's a weekend course.
The weekend course, and also going back to what you said about having a plan, and you know, we never know what's going to happen, do we? We don't know how our journey is going to unfold, and that's another beautiful thing about the Calmbirth course is that it teaches skills. So we impart a lot of knowledge. We talk about the pelvis and the uterus and the hormones and how your body actually works to, during labor and birth. And we also talk a lot about the mind and how a woman is feeling affects how her body's going to work. And that's because when we're feeling happy, we produce happy hormones. And when we're feeling stressed or anxious, we produce, our stress hormones. We go into fight or flight. And birth doesn't happen it doesn't happen when we're in that fight or flight stage. Birth and labor want to be, they're going to play out beautifully when the woman is feeling relaxed and when her partner's feeling relaxed.
I so agree with that, Laura. And I so love what you're doing, because a lot of the research I've been doing, like I've been, doing this sort of work since our son was just a toddler, and he's now 29, so 25 plus years. And we were talking about that podcast before, and people like Gabor Mate. And a lot of what I'm hearing, with children who have behavioural challenges later in life, a lot of that came from stress or trauma. And it doesn't have to be a huge stress or trauma, like the child was abused or raped or, neglected. It can be just a stress or trauma from in utero and through birth. So it really got me thinking about how important it is to teach parents, and especially the mothers, to be relaxed during their pregnancy, to take away the stresses, how important mindset and stuff is, like you've been saying. Because that stress does, get passed on to the baby. And I put the pieces of the puzzle together for my own pregnancy, being, when I had a migraine when I was about midway through my pregnancy. Once again, I was a fairly holistic person even way back then, and I did not want to be medicated. But I had this horrific migraine that saw me in and out of consciousness. It was a really nasty one. And my husband took me to the hospital, and the doctor recommended pethidine and Maxolon, because he said, if we don't settle this migraine, it could affect the child. And I would never been okay with that, but I wasn't in a position to say, and my husband had to make that decision. And do you know, Laura, that when my son was 5 years old, we had him tested by a Moira therapist, and she found traces of that still in his body at 5 years old.
Wow.
And whereas I did research that said it leaves the body within X number of hours. And I'm like, no, that's not the case at all. So, I believe that was the start of our stress in my pregnancy. So, the work that you do with Calmbirth and, helping parents to really focus on their mindset, not only the physical stuff that's happening with their body, but the mindset stuff, and really just, looking at environment and keeping things healthy.
The environment is really important. Yeah.
So tell us a few of the things you teach in Calmbirth.
It's important to remember that we always make decisions with the best, we always make good decisions with what we know at the time. So, and what we teach during the Calmbirth course is relaxation and visualization. That's huge. Nice. And being able to recognize when there's a stressful situation and when your body is in stress, and being able to make that change to switch out of that state. So we do lots of guided relaxations and evoke the relaxation response.
So important.
And then like making like you said, you don't know what's going to happen in the future, but once you have these skills, once you're able to practice this relaxation response and breathing techniques as well, then by the time a woman's going into labor, she will have practiced these so many times that it's actually just become a habit. It's just become a subconscious habit that when something happens, she's able to just drop into this nice, relaxed state, and able to make clearer decisions, because when we're relaxed, we can think more clearly. Our heart rate is reduced, our blood pressure is reduced, and obviously there's a baby inside as well. So when mum's feeling calmer, baby's also going to feel calmer.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So with the courses, so I know you do them in Bundall, which is on the Gold Coast in Queensland, but what if somebody's not local? Do you do them online as well?
There are Zoom option courses available. Yeah, definitely. COVID introduced us to Zoom, didn't it? So Calmbirth did go on Zoom for a little while there. Ideally, face-to-face is the best. That's where we're going to get, you know, connection with people. But there is obviously always the opportunity for other online modes as well.
That's good, or maybe even a combination of, but there might be somebody listening in who says, look, I love the sound of this, and I'm either pregnant or planning to get pregnant, and I'd like to look into this more. But I don't live on the Gold Coast. I don't even live in Queensland, because we might have listeners anywhere. So
there's over 100 Calmbirth educators in Australia and New Zealand. And if there's not one near you, then you know, just look on the calmbirth.com.au website, and there are Zoom courses available as well.
I'll get you to pop the details in the notes of this later for people to be able to come and check out. So who else, like obviously your main target market is pregnant couples.
Yes.
So would it be of an advantage for example, a grandparent to do the course?
Well, the course is for the pregnant woman and her support person. So whoever's going to be with her when she's in labour.
Okay.
Because it really, you know, the people surrounding that pregnant woman and that labouring woman have a huge effect on things as well.
Absolutely. Because I'm a believer of a good support system. Like even with my parenting work, I invite people who do the course if they've got you know, their parent, i.e. the kids' grandparents, if they want to jump on, or I've had, like in my current course, I've got carers who are jumping on with the parents because they're, you know, part of, you know, of the education.
Yeah, it's all about the team, isn't it?
Yeah. So not that you want a big team in the labour ward, but you know, just having that support, or you know, just even the mindset stuff is really important, because I know that you know, I'm hanging out to be a grandma, and one day, you know, I'll probably be, you know, all stressed and worried about the pregnancy because I want everything to go well for them, you know. So sometimes it's really good for grandparents to understand.
It's super important also being...
We can stress, can't we? Like grandparents can stress out the kids. Like they might be reasonably calm, but we're kind of really anxious. And
we don't want to pass that on to a pregnant woman. That's
right. Or telling all the horrific stories, or when I was pregnant, this happened and that happened. And you know,
everyone seems to want to tell their story of pregnancy to a woman, but it's not always helpful. So I always tell women that, you know, find a way to, you know, have a phrase that you're able to say, I really do want to hear your birthing story, but at the moment I'm focusing on my birthing story.
That's good.
After I've had my experience, let's talk about it then.
That's a great thing to say, because I think it's kind of natural, isn't it, when we hear somebody that we want to go into pregnancies. Like I just told my pregnancy story to you. It seems like instinctive that we do that when we're talking about pregnancy. So that's a really great thing to say. So they're not fobbing them off. They're just saying, look, I want to focus on my pregnancy story at the moment.
But then at the same time, sharing positive birth stories is also so powerful as well, because that's actually how I came to find about Calmbirth in the first place, because I ran into a woman who saw I was pregnant, and she's like, oh, you are so lucky. You are going to have the most amazing experience. Birth is amazing. She said, I was in another state. It was blissful. I was in love with everybody in the room, and it was just the most amazing experience. And I just, wow, how can you talk about birth like that? And so it made me go, well, how can you? Like, why does this woman had this experience, yet some women describe their experiences as being quite traumatic. So I also, working with women who have had that traumatic birth experience, it's so rewarding also, because just helping them to prepare and giving them these skills. You know, everybody has a certain amount of fear or anxiety going into a new experience, and it's like that with anything, not just with labour and birth, if we're going to be doing something like public speaking or something we've never done before, you do have a bit of anxiety about it, don't you? But that's healthy and normal, and it makes you want to go find out more information about it. And sometimes that's enough for you to go, yep, you know what, I've got this. This is what it's going to be like. And you feel confident. But then sometimes people have deeper underlying fears that they just, you know, where have they come from? Why are they feeling like this? So being able to, and that's why Calmbirth has this subconscious reprogramming component embedded in the course.
So important.
And so that's why it's so successful for both, you know, for everybody, for anybody who does the course will get benefit out of it.
I do have a question. So let's say somebody's found out they're pregnant. They could be, you know, 8-10 weeks pregnant or less. You know, some people find out earlier. What is the best time? Like, is there, like, do you suggest they do it at 6 months or 7 months or 5 months, or does it not work?
Yeah, so we say like 24 weeks to 32 weeks.
Oh, nice.
But in saying that, I've had a woman who's been 37 weeks pregnant when she's done the course, and she's still received heaps of benefits. So you don't want to, generally when you first find out you're pregnant, it's the second trimester is when you start to get the energy and that motivation to start taking in all this new information and learning. And that's a really great time to immerse yourself in new information. And then it also allows you time to practice and prepare, because whenever we've got an experience up ahead of us that we know is coming, we want to prepare for it. So having that time to dedicate daily practice for, you know, the skills that we teach. And these skills that we teach are they're not new skills. Everybody has the ability to relax. Everybody has the ability to breathe. We're just enhancing these skills and teaching couples how that they can use them to the best of their ability during labour and birth. Yeah.
Well, I know one day when I hear the magic words, Mum, we're pregnant, I will be gifting them a Calmbirth course for absolute sure.
And what a great gift. That is a great gift.
There you go, grandmas. You know, like always, that's a great gift to give your kids. You know, you hear that, especially if it's their first experience, and what a great gift to give them, you know, because they're probably going to get enough toys and clothes and stuff from everybody else. So it's a wonderful gift, isn't it? So thank you so much, Laura, for joining us today. I must say I really enjoyed having you and Scott on our parenting course, because, you know, you're very dedicated parents, and I know that, you know, your parenting and your relationships with your 3 boys are really important to you. And, you know, I see you as somebody who, you know, not only wants to experience the best, you know, parenting and family experience for your family, but you want to help other people to experience that as well. And I think starting, you know, where you're starting, which is really at the start, is a great idea, especially, you know, when I hear you talking about mindset and, you know, calm and positive and stuff like that as well, to carry that through, you know, beyond the birth, because, you know, sometimes having a baby can be quite a shock, you know, like as in, you know, change of lifestyle, etc. So to prepare not only mum, but also, you know, the partner as well, because it can be quite an upheaval for everybody involved. So yeah, it's beautiful and wonderful work that you're doing, and I appreciate you sharing with us. So please, if you're listening in, if you are pregnant, or you know somebody who's pregnant or planning to be pregnant, especially if they are based on the Gold Coast, please do connect with Laura. And even if you're not on the Gold Coast, perhaps connect with Laura. She might be able to help, you know, guide you to where you can do a live course. Or do you do like just consultations with people, Laura, just like one-on-one type consultations?
Oh, I'm always happy to chat on the phone. Pick up the phone and call me, or message. I'm on Facebook and Insta too. Awesome. And I'm soon to be a Thompson method practitioner as well, which is supporting women with breastfeeding and getting to that good start as well. So
that's a great idea. I'm actually just reading a novel, would you believe, about a woman who had a baby and had terrible challenges breastfeeding, which turned her into a really stressed and, overwhelmed mother, and it's kind of carried on through in the story to the little girl into toddlerhood. So yeah, that's really important as well. Sometimes we just think that's going to be the easiest and most natural thing to do, but it's not always, right?
No, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
We can overthink things too. So yeah, there's lots.
That's fantastic. So basically you're the go-to for pregnancy and birthing and pre and post. Yeah. So that's fantastic, Laura. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I really appreciate it. I hope everybody got to enjoy listening to Laura. I know I definitely did. And I will surely be, referring any pregnant women your way to come and get educated, because it is all about education. So thanks again, and good luck with all that you're doing. And I really appreciate the difference that you're making for families and your absolute passion for helping couples to have happy and healthy children. Well, you could have you're happy, enjoying happy and healthy children as well. That could be your catchphrase as well. So thanks heaps, Laura, and until next time, bye for now.
Thank you. See ya. Bye-bye.